Hi, I am Cami from the blog Tidbits at tidbits-cami.com, and I would like to talk to you about kitchen hardware. Now, there are so many choices when it comes to hardware, and the hardware in your kitchen can make a huge statement. Let's make sure that your space says what you want it to. I'm sharing my 5-step process that I used to pick out our new kitchen hardware and giving you a glimpse at what it looks like. The poles and knobs I picked for our kitchen are created by Atlas Homewares. Now this is the Browning collection, and I opted for a matte champagne color, which I just adore. But I gotta tell you, it took me a while to find the hardware that spoke to my soul. And I understand that this can be a hard decision to make. After all, they say that hardware is the jewelry of your home. So you want to make sure that you pick something that you can feel comfortable with for a very long time. Now, I partnered up with Atlas to help walk you through deciding on the finishes and the style options, and hopefully you'll come away with an easy process that you can take to help you find the hardware that fits your style best. When I found myself overwhelmed with this decision, these are the 5 steps that I took to help me find the hardware for my kitchen. The first step is to research, observe, and be inspired. Now, when I find myself with a design decision to make, I begin researching. I also start noticing products in other homes that I visit or see, whereas before I probably would have overlooked these design decisions entirely. Now, observing and researching is a huge part in finding what you like best and discovering what you don't like, which is equally as important. So first of all, start a Pinterest board dedicated to hardware, like I did, and I'll leave a link for that below. Just start searching and pinning your favorite images. See if you can find a trend that pops up in all of the images that you've pinned. Are you drawn to the warmer metals? Do you like your hardware big and chunky versus just sleek and minimal? What color of cabinets are you finding that come with the hardware that appeals to you? Is it similar to the color of your own space? These are all good questions that you can ask yourself while you're researching hardware. Now, for me, there were a few exceptions, but I was definitely drawn to the warmer metal tones and hardware that were more simple and classic. I found my eyes were wanting to avoid high contrast, like say black hardware on white cabinets. I'm not saying that is a bad thing, it's just something that I noticed I didn't want for this particular home and space, which was just an important observation for me to make. The second step in your process should be considering the finish. Now, before I even began shopping for my selection, I narrowed down the finish that I really liked and was looking for. Making this decision first made finding the perfect piece much easier. This can be as easy as deciding if you want black or white or gold or silver, something more general that will help you get yourself in the right ballpark. Now, be mindful that hardware finishes are never that simple. You are going to be faced with decisions like polished nickel versus brushed nickel, Venetian bronze versus slate, or maybe a French gold versus a lacquered brass, all which might leave you a little confused and overwhelmed. Now, you might have a favorite metal finish that you know you are after, but if you can at least go into your search knowing what you want, for example, a warm metal, a stainless steel metal, a matte black finish, etc., you'll be able to narrow down your search much quicker. Now, I really like how Atlas Homewares has the option to shop by finish, which made this job a lot easier. If just viewing the vast amount of finish options leaves you unsure, step number 4 will help you feel confident in your decision. But first, let's visit step number 3, which is to consider the style. Now, hardware companies are very creative these days, and there are a multitude of styles to pick from. You should be able to find something that suits the style of your home, whether that's rustic, traditional, modern, or what have you. You may want simple and minimalistic, or you may want to bring home all the glam. Finding your style is mostly just about viewing your options and seeing what your eye is drawn to, but you'll also want to consider function. Do you like a cup style pole that you open in an underhand position, or do you need something like a T-bar style because you might find yourself with dirty hands and only a foot to open your drawer, which happens a lot for me. There's options like, do you want a curved style edge so that your clothing or your apron won't get stuck as you walk past? And probably most importantly, does the style you want have the finish option that you want? What style is going to be easiest to clean? Just some helpful questions for you to ask yourself as you are selecting the styles of hardware that you want. So step number 4 in the process is super important, so don't skip it. It's ordering your samples. Now, whether you plan to buy online or from a store, you'll want to bring home a selection to choose from. It's a lot like paint, and the finish or color might look a little different than you expect in your space, and you'll want to be able to compare it with your cabinet colors and your wall colors. And this is especially important when you order online. It can be hard to get an accurate depiction of the finish from the images that you see on your computer. For example, I thought for sure I wanted this French gold in this Browning collection, but I ordered the champagne color just to see. Once I got both of them in my hands, I didn't hesitate. I loved the champagne. It's exactly what I was looking for. It's a nice matte warm metal that's not too brassy and not too glammy. It's simple and understated and yet noticeable and unique. Now, had I not ordered several styles and finishes, I wouldn't have found this beauty that works perfectly for my white and blue cabinets. Now, I think it's really important to get a knob and a pole in the finish and styles that you like. And again, don't skip this step, and at least get a few that you think might work. It's really nice to feel it in your hands before you make such a big commitment. And if you order from Atlas, you can always return the ones you don't use so that you can get your money back. Okay, we're at the last step of the process before you order all your hardware. Now, it's important to figure out how many knobs and poles you are going to need. There may be some hard and fast designer rule on where to place knobs and where to place poles, but I didn't really care for that. It may seem an obvious choice to put poles on drawers and knobs on cabinets, but you can certainly get creative. I opted to do 2 knobs on the longer drawers and single knobs on the shorter drawers, and poles on the deep drawers that would likely require the assistance of my foot to open on occasion. Now, I liked how the double knob mimicked what might be found maybe on like a bedroom dresser, and I felt that putting poles on all these drawers might have made the kitchen a little too busy. I also opted to keep with the same size of the pole for our panel-ready fridge cabinet fronts, and this really helped this wall of cabinets look a lot more seamless. So think about how you might open each cabinet, if a knob or pole would feel best, and how they might look once they are all installed. You'll be grateful to have ordered some samples of both your knobs and poles so you can kind of hold them up and compare and see where you would like them. Okay, there you have it. That was my 5-step process for selecting hardware for your kitchen, or really any space in your home. But perhaps my best advice is just to go with your gut. I would say resist the urge to ask 50 other people their opinions, which will only leave you second guessing yourself. So I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to discuss what finishes and styles you like in the comments below, or feel free to share images with me of your favorite hardware in your home or that you've seen online. Now, when we all come together and share, we get loads of inspiration for do-it-yourself living. Thank you for watching.